country like Haiti. Today, I have the honor to welcome one such soul. Andy Kernan is a member of this church with his wife, Kim, and their sons. He says coming here about 10 years ago woke him up. And 9 years ago, he began a project in Haiti that has helped dozens and dozens of Haitian children and whole villages. And there's so much more going on, and they're just sort of at the brink of doing some major building on a village-to-village level. It's sort of like bypassing all of the corruption. And he's here to talk about At-Risk Children's Foundation and the work they're doing in Haiti. And so I'd like to get Andy up here.
Thank you, Dan.
And so,
I was gonna, can I grab that mic there? Or
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You think that's poor? Yeah.
Hi, congregation. Is this on?
Just they'll
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm really grateful to be here, especially just before Thanksgiving. It was kind of definitely out of coming to this church and the gratitude for what I had in my life that spurred me to look what I could do and get involved in. I was around 11 years ago. Richard Bittner invited me to come to service with him. We started coming, and then we, just the aspects of social justice, thinking globally. I've been around. Use the other mic.
Andy, if you could just hold an inch or two closer.
Okay. All right. So, can you go ahead and start the first slide? And so.
Hold my
Okay, thank you. All right. So we had started with having a party at our house for our 2-year-old, and my wife Kim, many of you know, is super enthusiastic, and she probably invited. This might be an exaggeration, but it seemed like 70 people. And then after the party was over, I looked around and we had a 2-year-old with 70 gifts, and I was thinking, I had left the corporate world to be a stay-at-home dad and thought, there's more to this. Where can I give back? And then it was kind of just synchronicity soon thereafter, thinking about social justice, what's going on in the world, what I could do as a person, that I met Marlene Mathrin. And can you change the next slide? It's and so this is the founder, and this is as much her story, way more so than mine, because she has gone through, she was born in Haiti, went to school in France, became a U.S. citizen in 1967. She's later went with USAID, and she, while she was there with USAID, she built in the 90s schoolhouses. She also tried to start a tuber program where she was trying to get, this is the picture of the schoolhouse that they built with USAID. And then she then started a tuber program, which was to do sustainable farming. Let me keep going here. And so these are all, this is Marlene, and what they were doing was trying to get them to plant nutritious crops that would grow in the hardened, rocky soil that wasn't growing much more than sugar cane. And a big problem was Haiti, they're growing, if you go there, there's just fields and fields of sugar cane everywhere you go, but there's not a lot of nutritious, sustainable crops. And she's still having this effort today where she's still going out and trying to get them to build sustainable, nutritious crops rather than the sugar cane, which is the highest value crop for them. And so what happened with with what the work she was doing is USAID, I'm not sure of the exact date, but they late 1990 they pulled out of Haiti, and so she started doing work for she was no longer with USAID, And she was thinking, where can I give back? Where can I do some good? And she decided to adopt a struggling orphanage she had been to several times while she was in Port-au-Prince. And they had about 45 kids at the time, and she started working with them and helping them, and that's where I came in and first met Marlene. And I asked, how can I help? And I started working on their website and just doing other little things I could do. And soon thereafter, President Aristide was removed, and when he was removed, there was lots of violence in Port-au-Prince, and our orphanage our kids were in got burned down. And so we had to get them out of Port-au-Prince. The violence was just terrible at that time. And so we moved them to rural Jacmel. And once we got there, though, our kids started getting sick because the only water was the local river, and it was very polluted. They have, animals in the river and people doing laundry in the same river. And so my mother, a good friend of hers, is Bill Winkley, and he has One Family International, and they do water projects around the world, and they go and teach local people how to build their own potable water supply. They do a lot in Africa, but so he teamed up with me, and we went and we built this cistern and a 30,000-gallon tank here in rural Jacmel that's to serve our kids, but also to serve the whole community of Jacmel with potable water. And so this is Marlene and other people in our organization. Everyone's pretty happy after we completed this project, because getting anything done in Haiti is always an adventure. So, and you can go ahead and change the slide after that. While we were there in Jacmel, things started going really well. All this time, the main thing our organization does is we're trying to help these children that, these orphan children grow up with education, health care, and have productive lives and give back to society. And we were able to, things were going so well, I got them in a local soccer league, and we had different organizations. We had, which I thought was kind of funny, was Cadbury Schweppes, which back in the 1600s made all their money on sugar in the slave trade. I got someone from Cadbury Schweppes to write a big check to buy soccer uniforms for all our kids, and American Airlines at the time had been donating what's called belly freight, where excess space on their passenger planes we could ship stuff, and they helped us out. And the kids helped pack up these, probably was like 60 boxes of soccer gear, and we shipped it all off, and our kids were able to, you can turn the slide, our kids were able to participate in the local soccer league there for a year and a half. You can go ahead and keep changing them. They're all trying to look tough here, so. You could go ahead and change the slide. And the next thing that happened, though, because nothing's ever easy, and there was a hurricane. I want to get the. I had a cheat sheet that had all the dates and names of places, because I don't have a great memory for dates and names, but I want to say 2008 there was a really bad hurricane in Haiti, and it actually tore down the house we had in Jacmel. It wasn't a house; it was more like a covered thing. But anyway, where we were living in Jacmel got torn down, and we actually really struggled to find a safe place to move the kids to. Nobody wanted to lease us a house that had, at the time, this is about 65 children. Nobody wanted to lease a house for 65 children. And so we had to make all these commitments, and we really tried hard. But we found this beautiful home in Lakai, and so we moved our kids to Lakai. You can turn the slide here. And just like American kids, the funnest thing is the pile of dirt behind the house. But during this time, we also wanted to get a permanent place for our kids to go and find, and again with the dream of doing more than just a small group of kids, which each time we moved, we actually take on more kids, because when we moved to Jacmel, we had, I believe it was 46 children that we brought out of Port-au-Prince. Part of moving to Jacmel is the local officials said you can move here if you take 12 more of the kids here in Jacmel that are orphaned and in need assistance as well. And so we started looking for a permanent place, and what we found was in Cavaillon, in Castine, there was this historic land, I don't have his whole name correct, but in the 1700s, General Maximilian, I can't remember the rest of his name, he fought in their liberation from the France to liberate them from slavery, and he became the president of the western part of Haiti. If you look up his history, they also describe him as becoming a pirate and taking his naval fleet. But this was his land, when he was president. There's lots of remnants of the fort still on this land, and so the city of Castine deeded this land to us, in that we build something that's going to serve much more than our kids, but serve the whole community. And so this is our land in Castine. Though we weren't ready to move here yet, the first thing we did, there was no potable water in this area as well. And I teamed up with my mom's friend, Bill Winkley, again, and we dug a 150-foot well with a 15,000-gallon holding tank. And so this is the dedication to where we did this well with One Family International again, and brought potable water to the whole area of Castine and Cavaillon. And so this is just an example. This was the only source of water before that. This is the river going through there, aptly named the River de Massacre. But if you can go ahead and change the next one. And so the big problem with the water there is, of course, you got animals just can go to the bathroom right beside it. It's like a horse standing in the water, you know. And so the next thing, why we're trying to develop this, we also did a couple more things during this time. We had, for the School for the Blind in Port-au-Prince, Marlene, back from her time with the USAID, got very concerned with issues of with children for the blind and helping them. And we were able to get 30 braillers in Florida, as well as wheelchairs and glasses. And we got all this to the I can't remember the name of the Eye Center in Port-au-Prince for the blind. And then we also brought one of our kids had an eye disease, and we brought him with the help of American Airlines again and to the U.S. and had lots of people worked on it and dedicated that he got surgery that saved his sight. Sorry. Then the other thing we did during this time was some of the young girls in our organization, we were later to find, had been born with AIDS, and so we're out in kind of rural areas, and we needed to start finding ways to have our children that had AIDS back in Port-au-Prince where they'd be closer to services. And so we started looking at a land we could lease in Port-au-Prince that we could build on. As things tend to go badly there, we in 2010 was the earthquake. The house we were in collapsed. This isn't a picture of that house, it's another one, but 6 of our children died in that earthquake. You can go ahead and change the slide. This is Marlene had relatives there. This is their house. That's actually, people died here. That's the second floor that you're looking at. And this is more pictures of our land there. And so what we did in Castine is we built a water thing that everyone came and used. I think those got out of order, but this just more picture of the earthquake. Sorry. So one thing that came of all this, actually Marlene, she's 67 and she lives in Florida, and she goes to Haiti about once a month or every 2 weeks or so. She happened to be in Haiti when the earthquake happened, and so although it was devastating to be there, it was really important because her being there on the ground, she could get things together, and it was complete chaos. And so one of the biggest things was our kids it was like shell-shocked or PTSD, and every loud noise, they would all huddle, and just really a lot of fear around this. You can change the slide. So because she was there, she was able to get supplies and things together. The house they were in had collapsed. We built this small tent thing. She was able to go out every day, and you had to really go out and track down organizations to find food from. And so we made it through the earthquake. That's Marlene there. And we started to build on the land we had leased in Port-au-Prince, where we were going to have our children with AIDS. And so we started, and we built this house here. That's the inside, turn sideways. And so we were going to move the kids here to Port-au-Prince because we had land. And then you can go back one. But not widely covered was you go forward a couple. But not widely covered was that the year after the earthquake, there was a really bad tropical storm, and it actually ripped the roof off the house we were making. The only good thing that came of that, we ended up partnering with some nuns out in Cavaillon, where we had the other land we were working on, and we were able to move our children there. And we were able to rebuild this house, though, with not the Red Cross, it's called Cross International, but you can go ahead and change this. And we ended up building this really beautiful house for the kids with Cross International's help and many other people. You can go ahead and change it. And so this is called Chez Moi. And it means my home. And so this is a house we have for the kids here in Port-au-Prince. It's in Poutsbane, which would be like Plano to Dallas. And it's up on this big hill overlooking the city. You can go ahead and change it. So you can change this to, and so anyways, this is our house there that we have 20 of our kids are there now. This was a kitchen before we rebuilt it, before the storm tore it up, and now we have this really beautiful kitchen where we can, cook for 20, and you can keep going. There's some of the people who work for us. And so I was to travel out to Cavaillon to Castine to talk to the officials there. At one time we had partnered with a group that wanted to build buildings out of shipping containers, and we had a documentary lined up, and we had all this excitement around it, and the people, the city officials said, no, you can't build houses out of shipping containers here. And I was like, what do you mean? We've got all these people lined up, all this backing, and I went there to talk to the city officials, and this is out in Castine, in Cavaillon, where we have this land. You can turn this slide. It's just talking to the children. He's telling you the story. It's me and Marlene and our kids there. Here's one of the things the kids liked the best was seeing my kids on my iPhone. And so here we are going through, I have hundreds of pictures of my kids on my iPhone that we're going through all the pictures of my kids. And playing soccer with my kids. And so why I'm there, extremely moving, was all these local women had shown up. They heard I was going to be there at our land, and they all these women showed up, and they all wanted to meet with us, and not to ask for food, not to ask for money. What they all wanted to show me was that their children could succeed given the chance, and they all brought report cards, and they'd have maybe over a 5-year span, just 1 or 2 semesters here or there, but their kids had got good grades. And they were trying to show me that their children had the capacity to learn if only we could help them. And so many of them were kind of and they couldn't understand, and they were upset that they see us paying for our kids, the orphans, to go to school. And all the kids in the local community don't get that chance because and so you can go ahead and change this. And so we ended up getting all the women in the local area here to, they all signed up to see if we could organize some way of getting them to, and here they're signing up to see if when we can organize and get a list going. Here, I want to play this for a second because a big thing, this is more on our land, but I want to show that the biggest thing on our land is that we have that potable water. And all day long, just there's kids coming down the roads from all directions, bringing jugs of water to come fill up with water. And so where one of our biggest goals is to build a learning center and a library here on this land, it's because people are coming from all over, from many different communities to come here and get water. And so this is, I just want to let this play for a second because this is where some children are arriving and they're getting water. But it's just this continuous stream of people. And so if we can have a learning center and an education center here, it's where the people are coming to. And so our kind of hope and dream is they can come here, have a class, and then where they're walking an hour back home, have something to think about.
Let me ask you, how much does it cost to educate a kid? And you had a...
Yeah, and so one of the main reasons Dennis has offered to help me is, though we're doing all this, and we've always dreamed big, and our little organization is only a few people. We've never had any money, but we continue to help where we can, and we've helped all these different projects, and we have other great dreams going now where we're teaming up with an inventor to possibly build here on this land. We still, at this very moment in time, are not making our tuition for this semester, and so at $312 a year per child is our cost to go through school. But they also get meals and things with their school. And so where we're doing a share the plate today, a big part of it is that we're trying to make our tuition for this semester, because these kids that have been, and we again have younger ones that have been added on, but the kids that have been with us during this time, they're all getting, they're about to finish school, and we don't want, after having kept them in school for 9 years, to have them fall out this last semester. And I'll just roll through the rest real quick. And so this is Marlene. This is our water thing. This summer, we our kids had to leave there for where they're staying with the nuns. We actually got them to go to basically what we would consider summer camp, and they went to Cape Haitian for the summer. We had a terrible accident there with many of our people, and this is Marlene, and she just her determination and will. She's in this terrible accident, and what is she thinking about? She's thinking about the women of Castine that met with us, that wanted an education, and she thought, while I'm stuck here in Haiti recovering, I'm going to go back there and organize those women into a community organization. And so all those women that signed up, they're now in a community organization, and that's who is going to start our library and build our library. And we're hoping the team with inventor Harvey Lacey. These pictures are from a D Magazine article about him, which is how I found out about him. He's in Haiti right now. He just got back from our land last night in Port-au-Prince, and I was talking to him last night. And he, you can go ahead and change the slide. He's an inventor who's found a way to recycle materials and build buildings that SMU has tested to be explosion-proof and earthquake-proof. And so there's Harvey. And so Harvey's there right now. Where he has a collaboration with the Memnosine Foundation, and they're who are paying for his trip to go there right now, and hopefully collaborating. Can you go back one? And so this is 2 days ago. This is Saturday. All our children showed up to meet Harvey. this is the pavilion we've since built on our land as well, so for a learning center. And so, like I said, our little organization, we're struggling at the moment, but we've been struggling for 9 years. And so where we seem to this huge light at the end of the tunnel, possibly building a library and an education center here that'll serve this whole greater community. Any help anyone can provide right now would be really great. And so this, there's one other thing I want to say. I'll let you take it over there, Dennis. So, thank you all. Thank you so much.
Isn't that amazing? What an amazing story. And this has been going on for 9 years with Andy and of course with Marlene Markey. What a remarkable woman to be able to do this. One of the things that Andy was saying is that Haiti, as defeated as it's been again and again, the people are all busy all the time. They're walking around, they're doing things, they're always moving and working and such. It's, you know, they just have, they've been hit down again and again. Every turn they make. But this is stuff that really works. When we were in India, we saw this very kind of thing where it was around potable water and villages building these centers that would serve them, that would bring people together. This is the kind of thing that all over the world will really work. And I'm just delighted that we could have something to do with a real project like this. It's small enough so that your donations don't get lost. Just think of this. $312 will support a kid all the way through for this year and give them 2 meals a day, I think it is, as well, and other benefits. So we're going to take up a collection. This is our Share the Plate collection. Be generous. You know, it's things like this where your money really goes a long way. Yeah, unlike some of the disasters like on the East Coast, you could give money and it just kind of gets sucked in and you don't see it doing a lot. Here it does a lot. So it's magnified every dollar you give. So if you would, if we take up the collection and if you can throw anything extra in there for one of those kids, do it today. And we'll sing to you. And then after that, we'll have the new member.